Hello and welcome to Final Fantasy X HD and a squeaky chair. Today, with my squeaky chair, I'm going to be killing Earth Eater. And presumably so will you, because if you're going to be stat maxing, you kind of require his help a whole lot of times. It's going to be one of the last statue max, because it takes so long and you need really high stats to even do this, but you're going to want your celestial weapons, or your ultimate weapons, or whatever you want to call them for this task, mostly because break damage limit. But you also want armor that has, ignore the rest of what's on this armor basically. You want armor that has auto-haste and auto-phoenix to make this a little bit easier. Auto-phoenix just saves turns. Protect and potion are not needed, they're just on there for later use should I need that, because I had stuff for it. And that's basically it. It's going to be a long fight. There's two ways of doing this. I will see about showing both of them to you, depending on how long it takes, but 15k per fight for Earth Eater. You need to fight him a lot of times. He drops 2 spheres per kill. You need like a billion of them. So just like prepare for that. It'll take 2 hits to knock him on his back, or 1 overdrive from Tidus, or Humphrey in our case, if you happen to have him. He will counter while standing with an insta-kill move. It does not grant overdrives because it does no damage, it's actually a death punch or whatever it is. When he's on his back though, he will counter with a reflected flare, which means reflect cannot protect you from it. If you have auto shell rather than auto protect, it's actually pretty useful for this and the other fight I'll be showing in a separate video, which is the other half of this grind. But I don't, so we just take the full damage. You'll want for this fight 255 strength, 255 magic defense, and preferably high agility. And there's where auto potion takes in. By the way, you might notice that fairly often. I have that so they keep their health relatively high, and so we don't have to take turns to heal because it's a generally long fight. But also because it affects the damage that they're doing with their celestial weapons. So it's nice for them to have decent HP while doing this. If you have broken a HP limit, or if you have armor that breaks HP limit, you can then basically ignore healing. Just have armor that has auto-phoenix, auto-haste, and break HP limit, and you're basically golden. That's not nearly as effective in the other half of this grind, which again, I will show you in a separate video, but hey. You might also notice I'm not using Wakka's overdrive. I'm actually saving that for the other half of this video where I show you the potentially faster method of doing this. And you notice I'm using quick hits every time. That's just to give us more turns. It's not required. It uses MP quite a lot. Not required because he won't get up on his first turn. You should kill him before his second turn anyway. But, you know, I have it. I use quick hit on everything. You should use quick hit on everything. When you fight Dark Aeons, you'll use quick hit on everything. He has, I can't remember exactly what, is it 1.2 million health or something along those lines? I will not use his overdrive either. This is the laziest way to do it. This is how I do it when I'm not paying attention to the game at all. So I can just mash the quick hit button. That's why I have auto potion and auto phoenix, so I don't stop to heal or anything. Very quick and easy for people who are not paying attention in any way, shape, or form. Like I am for the most part. So you get 2 spheres, you get some equipment, which will make the money back from the fee. The other methodology requires Wakka have Loner, as well as his attack reels overdrive. That's kind of vital to pretty much any grinding at this point in the game, is attack reels. So you want him to have Loner. You might think, well, that only affects him when he's the only one in battle. Yes, this is true. He will be the only one in battle. You'll notice he only counters with an insta-kill when he's standing. So if you have Tidus's overdrive full, use that. If you don't, just hit him twice. Capture card stuttered for some reason. I wasn't paying attention, sorry. If you don't just hit him twice, he'll fall down. 1 overdrive from Tidus, even if you fail, will still knock him down because it counts as individual hits. But once he's down, and this is primarily to save myself some trouble here in terms of healing, is I'm going to cast Shell on Wakka so he takes less damage from Flare. And then the other two here are going to attempt to run away. Sometimes it doesn't work on the first try, sometimes it will. So you can wait, you can then leave. And now Wakka's the only one left. Because he's the only one, his gauge will fill up automatically. And you have to be good at attack reels to do this, which I'm not, so we might end up failing. I'm not always good with attack reels. Got it that time though. You want to get this. It's 12 hits at 50k apiece, so it'll take 3, I believe, or 2 and a couple extra hits to kill him, and he will counter with Flare, which is fine. That's why we have Shell. If you don't have Auto Potion, just give yourself something like Regen or whatever, but every turn that passes, even if you do nothing, will fill up a lot of his Overdrive gauge, so we can just do that, pass turns, go back to Overdrive, so you won't actually take very many hits. The only risk with this is if for some reason you don't knock him on his back before Wakka's the only one in the field. At which point, you know it's kind of risky because Wakka gets countered, and there you go, 2 and 1 Tidus Overdrive kills him. That's the faster method. It does require you pay attention though, and oftentimes I am not doing that, so I generally employ the slightly lazier strategy on both this and the other fight that I'll be showing. But that's for another video, because it's another enemy. So I'll see you guys when I do that.